Torah could contain a hidden code that foresees details of event from the distant future was so fantastic and so unacceptable for many people, so they tried to find where could be the possible flaws of our research.
In a matrix, a tight matrix like you're talking about, you can find Twin Towers, Bin Laden, destruction, different words. I find that sort of beyond coincidence.
We have some words like airplane. Many pages are just empty. But when we came to chapter 20 of this book, then all of them suddenly appear in one place.
I spent 28 years working for the United States Department of Defense, the National Security Agency, where I was a senior cryptologic mathematician and cryptanalyst, or in other words, a professional code breaker.
That's what we knew a year ago and what we know today. It is like difference between kindergarten and university.
The Hebrew Torah is the oldest living, accurate wisdom text in the world today. And this is really important because how can you compare your results with the results that someone else is getting on the other side of the world? Well, with the Torah code, you can do exactly that.
A divine being, a benevolent, wonderful divine being could have woven this into the scripture. It's not beyond the possibility of him doing that.
You have to name the event before you make your observation. So the event has to be specified ahead of time. That's a priori. When we get finished with the experiment, we have one score from the Torah text. We might have 10,000 scores from the monkey texts. We make a comparison. What is the fraction of scores from the monkey text that are equal to or better than the score from the Torah text?
I had gotten a paper of the codes. It was a preprint before it was actually published. I could find no mathematical error in it. I went ahead and wrote my own programs on a computer and reproduced the experiment. I felt a chill go up my spine. Here I had done it with my own programs, my own code, on my own computer, in my own house, and I was getting exactly the same results as Witzman and Rips had gotten in Jerusalem.
Because that is the basis of science. You can come to your findings, but if other people cannot replicate your findings, then, well, you've got something other than science.
Cursed is Bin Laden, and the revenge belongs to the Messiah. Vertically skipping with equal skips, we have a 29-letter text, of which is a meaningful phrase in Hebrew.
Barak in Hebrew, Obama. This is Barack Obama. You see, Barack Obama.
And we looked at the tables of Obama, compared them with the tables of McCain, and it clearly came out that just by looking at it, that the Obama tables were stronger.
And all these scriptures, again, have sort of lain dormant for thousands of years, and now they're becoming alive. In fact, Isaac Newton writes this very interesting, sort of cryptic little line in one of his books saying it about the time of the end. This isn't biblical now, this is extra biblical, so Isaac Newton. But Newton writes at the time of the end that God would raise up a body of men who would be very interested and concern their lives with these ancient prophecies and begin to bring these prophecies to the masses. And that's exactly what we're seeing.
I have a first cousin who's also a mathematician, and he went to a math conference in Jerusalem where he met a former colleague of his, Professor Daniel Michelson. Professor Michelson told him about these codes, and my cousin come back and told me, there are these codes in the Torah that talk about recent events, current events, personalities. And I looked at him and I said, what are you talking about? This is weird.
Knowledge will increase. This is the book of Daniel, about 2,500 years old. And Daniel says, knowledge will increase and men will roam to or fro over the face of the earth.
My work actually fits in to the story of the discovery of codes right after the initial discovery by Witzman and Rips. Witzman and Rips in the late 1980s did their great rabbis experiment, in which they showed that the names of great rabbis over the centuries and their dates of birth and death were encoded in the book of Genesis.
In Hebrew is Bursa, Bet, Vav, Samachet. Every 5-letter minimal, so it means here it indicates that something is going to happen to the birth at this date. Oh, you see, Bet, Tav, Shin, Samachet, Elul, the 20th. Bursa, the birth, what happened? Menayot, shares, Naflu, fell.
Combined with that is the complete financial collapse, not only in the United States economy, but the global economy. Is this a controlled collapse? Is the Illuminati actually pulling strings and moving things towards what we hear Merkel, President of Germany, Sarkozy, President of France, former Prime Minister Tony Blair, tell us that we're moving towards a global economy, some sort of a new world order?
Bet, Tav, Shin, Ayin, Bet. This is in Tav, Shin, Ayin, Bet in 772, which corresponds to 2012. I looked for the date.
And our research, 2012 is, well, think of it as an entertainment event. That's when you see the warm-up band. The big event comes on the stage in 2013 and into 2014 as well.
Will be a time for redemption. Statistically, finding it in the right place, again, is very significant.
It's a signal that we are living in the last days. It's just one of many prophecies that when you stack them all up and you begin to line them up, we see that it builds a very strong case that in fact we are in the time of the end.
We are living now a very significant time. The Bible code clearly proves it beautifully.